Hi, welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay. Well, let's learn English together. Hello, 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 and hello. How are you all today? Are you all feeling fine? Are you all ready for the week? Did you all have a great weekend filled with fun and exciting things? Well, let's hope so. Well, the weekend's behind us now, and that means one thing, doesn't it? Yes, that's right. That means that today's Monday, and this week, week 55, is the last week of the, what is it?
Mega Revision, Part 2.
So, are you all ready for this, the last week of our second Mega Revision? I hope you are, because we're going to start in a moment. But, first things first, where are the animals? They're not here. Well, where are they? They're outside. Well, that's handy. That's very useful. So, this is quite a clever solution, isn't it? Now, out in the garden, Gusti can dance about like a mad thing as much as he wants, and it won't bother our lessons at all. Good. And if Margot is out in the garden sleeping, then she won't block the TV screen, which is also good, isn't it? And Nigel, well, if he's outside in his rabbit run, you know, that frame in the garden where he can run about but still be safe under some chicken wire. Okay then, so we're all here, you're all there, the animals are all outside, dancing, sleeping and making noise. And that's great, isn't it? Okay, so they're out there and we're in here. And it's time for us to get started on today's revision session. So, here we go. All right then, let's get on with the show. Nigel has come in and replaced, what's his name? The fish thing. What was his name? Glenn. Glenn. Okay. So we finally found a replacement for Glenn the goldfish. Nigel the guinea pig. Hello, Nigel. Great. It's great to have Nigel on the team, isn't it? He looks like a really fun guinea pig. Much better than that boring fish. What was his name? Godfrey. Something like that. It began with a G, I remember. Maybe it was Jeffrey. Ah, who cares? Nigel's a member of the team now. So it must be time for us to get started on today's lesson. Are you all ready? Yes? Nigel? Are you ready, Nigel? Yes? Great. Okay then, let's make a start. Now, this week we're going to have a look at a new tense. Yes, I know! How exciting is that? Yes, I bet a whole load of you have crashed your pants at the thought of us learning about another tense. And yes, it's terribly exciting. But before we dive into the wonderful wet world of English tenses, let's just have a look at two sentences which mean the same thing. Two sentences with something that we saw last week. I was waiting for the bus. Mary Benchfield rode past me on her motorbike, doing a wheelie. Okay, so which preposition are you going to use in that sentence? Well, what follows the preposition? It's a verb, isn't it? And what does that tell us? That's right. We can see from the sentence that we're talking about two things happening at the same time. And the fact that the preposition is followed by a verb tells us that the correct preposition is while. While I was waiting for the bus, Mary Benchfield rode past me on her motorbike, doing a wheelie. And what's the next one? I think you all probably know, don't you? I waited for the bus for 20 minutes. That time, Mary Benchfield rode past me on her motorbike, doing a wheelie. Yes, this time, although the meaning of the sentence is the same, the preposition is followed by a noun, which means what? That's right. This means that the preposition must be during. Good. I waited for the bus for 20 minutes. During that time, Mary Benchfield rode past me on her motorbike doing a wheelie. Excellent. Well done. And well done, Mary. I can't do wheelies. Mary's much better at riding a motorbike on one wheel than I am. Okay, so on to the new tense. And we're going to start studying the new tense by looking at the sentence we used just a minute ago. While I was waiting for the bus, Mary Benchfield rode past me on her motorbike doing a wheelie. Now, look at this sentence again. What can you see? Well, let's look at the second part of the sentence first. What can we see there? Well, we can see that the sentence is telling us something in the past, can't we? The main verb of the second part of the sentence is the verb to ride. And we can see that the verb is in the past simple tense. The irregular verb ride, the verb we use with traveling on a horse or a bike or a motorbike or even a scooter, the verb to ride is an irregular verb. In the past simple, ride becomes rode. All right, we know that it's in the past. We can also see that there's a preposition of movement in that part of the sentence. Past. Mary rode past me on her motorbike. I was standing and she was moving. She moved past me, just like this. Here, in this video, you can see that I ran past Edina, Evie and Ferry. Okay, so we understand the idea of to move past something. One thing moves faster than another thing. If I am standing in the street, you can walk past me, for example. When I'm driving on the motorway, if I'm driving faster than you, then I can pass you, like this. So, we know that either I was standing still or I was moving more slowly than Mary, because she passed me. She moved past me. She rode past me. We know that we can use the verb to pass, or we can use the preposition to say that we moved past something. All right. We also know that Mary can do tricks on her motorbike. She can do wheelies. She can move, balancing on the back wheel of her motorbike. But that's not important right now. What is important right now is the front part of the sentence, the first part. Let's have a look at that part of the sentence. Okay, now look at the first part of the sentence. While I was waiting for the bus. Okay, so we can see that we're using the preposition while, and we know why we're using the preposition while. We're talking about two things happening at the same time. But have a closer look at the next part. I was waiting. Well, we've seen all of those words before in English, but we've never seen them together like this, have we? No. Now, this collection of three words is an example of the past continuous tense in English. That's right. We're looking at the past continuous. We've seen the present continuous before, but this is the first time we've met the past continuous. We use the past continuous tense to tell people what was happening at a certain time in the past. It continued in the past for a time, but it doesn't continue up to the present. The best way to understand the past continuous is to have a look at this drawing. Okay, now have a look at the picture and listen as I tell you what I was doing. Yesterday, at 9:56 a.m., I was playing squash. I started playing squash at 9 a.m. and I finished playing squash at 10:25 a.m. Between 9 and 10:25, I was playing squash. So, we can see that we use the past continuous to talk about something that started in the past and continued for some time in the past. We can see that I started playing squash at 9 o'clock and I continued to play squash until 10:25. Good. Now, let's have a look at the way we make the past continuous. Well, it's simple enough. When we make the present continuous, what do? That's right. When we make the present continuous, we use the present form of the verb to be and then add ing to the end of the verb. Well, with the past continuous, we use the past form of the verb to be and then add ing to the end of the verb. Simple. Okay, so who can remember what the past form of the verb to be is? I know, you all know. But just to make sure, let's see if we can get Mabel to show us one of her fantastic tables. Mabel, we're in need of your skills. Can you show us a table like a fish without gills? Great! Thanks, Mabel. Okay, so that was simple enough, wasn't it? Yes. We know that we have to use the past simple form of the verb to be to make the past continuous tense. And the past simple form of the verb to be is very easy. There are only two possibilities. If the subject is I, or the third person singular, he, she, or it, then we use was. For all the other subjects, we use were. Simple. Now, because we're adding ing to the end of a verb, we have to pay attention. Just as we have to pay attention with the present continuous. Because we can't just slap ing on the end of an infinitive and hope for the best. Now, who can remember what spelling rules we have to be careful with? Okay, let's run through the places where we have to be careful, shall we? Number one, if the verb ends in an E, then we have to remember to remove the E before we add the ing ending. This means that with verbs like make, write, and come, we have to check that we take away the E before we add ing. Okay, what else do we have to be careful about? Can anyone remember? Yes, that's right. If the verb ends in vowel plus consonant, then before we add the ing ending, we have to double the last letter. This means that with verbs like stop, run, and swim, we have to check that we double the last letter before adding ing. Magic. Now, we also have to remember that if the verb ends in consonant plus consonant, we don't double the last letter. Help becomes helping, not helping, and work becomes working, not working. If the verb ends in two vowels plus consonant, we also don't double the last letter. Wait becomes waiting, and dream becomes dreaming. Also, if the verb ends in Y or W, then we don't double the last letter before adding ing. Enjoy becomes enjoying, and snow becomes snowing. And we're done for the day. Yes, it's time for you all to go about whatever you were doing, and we'll meet again tomorrow. Remember to check out the website www.m5tv.hu. See you all later. Bye.